Hey, guess what's happening on this week's episode of the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with your friend and host, Oscar Camejo.
If you're struggling with trying to lose weight and getting rid of your sugar addictions and cravings for sweets, I got something for you in this episode. You know, years ago when I was going through my diabetes scare, this is way before I was able to reverse type 2 diabetes and get off meds, I had to come to the realization about my weight. I was overweight, folks. I was 268 pounds, and I had to make a decision. What was I going to do with the rest of my life in terms of my health? And it came to the point where I was like, hey, you know what? I am going to lose weight. I am going to kick this sugar addiction, but how? So in this episode, I'm going to share with you exactly what I did, at least one of the steps that I took. It was a very important step that I took to reverse type 2 diabetes and get off meds and overall lose weight and feel healthy. Because you know what, folks? If you're like me, you want to live a focused, fit lifestyle and feel alive. But you know what? It took some dedication. It took some hard work, but it also took some very practical steps. And one of those steps is I had to start drinking more water. I'm not just talking about every now and then. I'm talking about every day. But it wasn't easy. There were some things that I had to do to even trick my mind and my body to start wanting more water. But on top of that, I had to examine what was going on in my life to where I was drinking so much sugary drinks. I'm talking about soda, fruit juices, you name it, lemonade, sweet teas. And it was hard to kick that sugar addiction. It was hard to do it, but I was able to figure it out. And I did that by drinking more water on a daily basis. But there was a step I had to take before that. Stick around because you want to know why? You're going to learn why water is an important factor in losing weight. And you're going to receive my recommendations, some practical recommendations on eliminating sugary drinks from your diet. So stick around to hear the rest of today's episode. You definitely don't want to miss it. Welcome to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with me, your host, Oscar Camejo. This podcast is all about helping diabetics and non-diabetics make lifestyle changes to reverse type 2 diabetes. Yeah, that's right, folks. That's what this episode and this entire podcast is all about. You may be struggling with type 2 diabetes, maybe you have pre-diabetes, or you're just concerned about developing diabetes. Maybe you know someone who does have diabetes and you've seen the struggle that they've gone through and you don't want that in your life. So this episode is all about helping you to kick that sugar addiction by using water as a practical tool to help jumpstart your metabolism, help flush out your body and get rid of some toxins. So I'm going to go over some benefits in a little bit, but I wanted to share a little bit about my story so you can understand why I had to make this change and why maybe you're in that same boat and what can actually help you to turn things around in your life. So lately I've been dealing with a series or sharing a series of steps and practical steps that I took to reverse type 2 diabetes, to lose over 80 something pounds to date, and basically live a healthy lifestyle. Because you know what? It's not enough to just try to meet a weight goal, but there's a goal that we should strive for, and that is to live a focused, fit, healthy lifestyle and feel alive every day. And it is going to require us to make some changes when it comes to our eating, our diet, and exercise, and basically what we put in our body and what we do with our body. You know, so back in August 2020, I was overweight, I was malnourished, I was not exercising regularly, and it was clear that I was obese. And it felt like, you know, gradually and over time, I just put on all this weight. And a big thing or big contributing factor, no pun intended, was the fact that I was drinking a lot of sugary drinks I mean, with every meal, it was clockwork. It wasn't just for dinner. It wasn't just for lunch. I mean, I would wake up drinking some fruit juice or soda. I would have it with breakfast and all kinds of stuff. And so that contributed to me, liking sweets even more and craving sweets because I just kept eating more sugar. And it's crazy. The more sugary things I ate, the more sugary things I wanted to drink. And the more sugary things I drank, the more sugary things I wanted to eat. I just kept feeding my body this sugar. And it happened overnight. Well, not overnight, over time, that I ballooned up to 268 pounds and was sick. And it was just crazy that whole time period. So I had gained a lot of weight, had did some blood work, and the doctor was like, yeah, go to the emergency room. And so I was able to go to the emergency room, and in the hospital is when I found out that I had type 2 diabetes. And you're talking about being scared because, man, I had heard of friends who lost limbs. A couple friends have died because of type 2 diabetes, and I did not want that to be my situation. So, one of the things I had learned early on was the effects of sugar and my sugar addiction or cravings, what it was having on my body. I'll be honest with you, maybe like you, drinking water was never a priority for me. Yeah, I'll be honest, it wasn't. I used to only drink water if there was nothing else to drink. If you can relate, raise your hand. I used to only drink water when I was thirsty after maybe doing a light workout or doing some type of exercise. I used to drink water when I felt like I was having too much soda or too much fruit juice. And I just wanted to, quote unquote, give my body a break. So I would just drink water on occasion. But it wasn't like an on purpose thing. Water was not a part of my lifestyle. Drinking water was just not on the top of my list of things to do because I was not educated on why the body needed water and how our organs and tissues thrive on having water. So the reason why I wanted to take a moment to briefly go over drinking water is because if you're having issues with memory loss, brain fog, being tired, being constipated, having issues with just your body temperature just not being regulated, and you're just dealing with headaches and migraines, it could be that you're not getting enough water in your body. Now, there's not just one hard, fast rule of how much water you should drink. There's different ideas out there of how much water you should drink. Like, for example, they say you should drink half of your body weight in ounces. So let's say if you are 150 pounds, half of that body weight would be 75. So you should drink at least 75 ounces of water a day. And that may be a lot. Let's say you're 250 pounds, half of that is what, 175? 125. So you should drink 125 ounces of water a day. Now that seems like a lot. So I had to come to the realization that regardless, I wasn't going to be the type of guy that walked around with a gallon of water a day. That was just not realistic. It's not practical for me. Some people love it. Some people are able to do it. But the bottom line is I had to be taught. Actually, I had to learn the effects that sugar was having on my body and the lack of adequate water and what it was doing to my body. It was a combination of things. And so I wanted this episode to really kind of go in a different direction. I didn't want to just talk about drinking water, and I didn't just want to talk about eliminating sugary drinks from your diet. For me, they go hand in hand. And I had to realize, okay, if I'm going to get rid of soda and fruit juices, I have to replace it with something else. One day I was in Costco and I was picking up some fruit or something like that. I forgot why I was going in there. So I saw this gentleman, and I've told this story before, but I saw this gentleman. He looked to be in his mid to late 50s, And the guy just looked great. His hair was tight, skin was tight. And he looked muscular, but he was probably only like 5'7", 5'8", maybe. But the guy just had this look and glow about him, and I was like, man, I don't want to be funny, but I want to ask this guy about his exercise. So I walked up to him and I was like, hey, sir, you know what? I'm not trying to be funny, or weird, but you have a great look, and I'm looking to up my health journey and my physique and my overall lifestyle. So what do you do in terms of your exercise? So he was like, hey, you know what? Exercise was one thing, but it was really about what I was putting in my body in terms of food and the things that I would drink. So he spent about 25 minutes just schooling me on sugar, and it was showing me food labels and how to read food labels and how to identify foods that have a lot of sugar added to it, a lot of artificial sugar and these sweeteners, and just basically how to cut sugar from my diet, and then also how to up my water game. So it just really changed my overall perspective. So that's why I try to help people when they ask me, okay, Oscar, how do you lose weight? How do you live this healthy lifestyle? You seem so energetic. You seem so full of life. And, I see the transformation. What do you actually do? How can I turn my life around? So I tell them about eliminating sugary drinks, the sodas, the fruit juices, the sports drinks and so forth, but also upping their water game, if you will, their water intake, because to me, again, it goes hand in hand. So I want to talk with you briefly about the benefits of drinking water, and then we'll go into some practical steps. So if you don't drink enough water each day, you run the risk of becoming dehydrated. That's kind of a no-brainer. But, our organs thrive on being hydrated. And then when we don't get enough hydration in our cells, in our organs, and in our tissue, our body starts to give us warning signs. And a lot of the early warning signs include weakness, low blood pressure, dizziness, confusion. Your urine may be dark. Definitely that is a key indicator when you're dehydrated or nearing dehydration, is when your urine is darker. It should be a lighter yellow, if you will. And I'm not talking about, sometimes when we take our multivitamins and other supplements, we have that rich yellow looking color. I'm talking about on a normal basis. When you go to the bathroom, I want you to start paying attention to the color of your urine, and not to gross anybody out. But, I actually looked it up. I did some research on the different colors of urine, because I just want to know what's happening with my body. How's my body processing food and things that I drink? So I aim for this lighter yellowish color, because that is like the optimal indicator that you are hydrated. So that's one thing to really look at. But again, if you're dealing with headaches and migraines, you're probably consuming a lot of salt. That's another thing. I probably need to do a whole podcast on sodium intake, because that was another thing. I used to eat a food that was high in salt, and that contributed to high blood pressure and some other things. So basically, water is very key to our metabolism. And here's some benefits. Water helps to carry nutrients and oxygen in your cells. It works with your blood, and so to ensure that your body is well nourished. It helps to flush bacteria from your bladder. It aids in digestion. If you're having digestion issues, you may want to consider the fact that, maybe you're not having enough water. Water also helps to prevent constipation, and that's very big. If you're not getting enough fiber in your diet, and you're also not drinking enough water on a regular basis, you may be dealing with constipation. Water helps to normalize blood pressure. It helps to cushion your joints. Man, when I tell you, I used to have inflammation in my knees. My knees used to hurt all the time. It was hard to do a lot of workouts. And I can tell you right now that I feel like my joints, from my hands to my knees, my ankles, just everything, my shoulders, it feels cushioned. And I believe and I know for surety that it's because I drink water on a regular basis. Water is a part of my daily routine, my daily lifestyle. So let's keep going. Water also helps to protect your organs and tissues from damage. Again, your organs and tissues need water to function, to do their basic functions. So let's stop dehydrating our body, okay? Water helps to regulate body temperature. Water helps to maintain electrolyte and sodium balance. That's an entirely different subject that we can just spend time on. Water also helps to treat migraines and headaches. I've already mentioned that a couple of times. So overall, you want to start drinking water to help lubricate your body, to help with your joint pain, headaches, memory fog, dizziness, and so forth. But your body basically needs water, folks. And when we deprive our body of the basic compound or the basic elements that our bodies are composed of, we're going to experience challenges. If you're having issues with your kidneys, your gallbladder, it could be that you're not drinking enough water. Now, some people may say, well, Oscar, I am drinking water. It's a combination of things. And I'm not saying that, hey, water is the answer to everything. However, this is one step towards living a healthy lifestyle and reversing things that are going on in your body. Only you know whether or not you're drinking enough water, or if you're drinking water, period. Don't be like me where you didn't prioritize drinking water. I want you to start prioritizing drinking water. Now, I don't expect this one episode to have all the answers you're going to need to living a healthy lifestyle. Drinking water and eliminating sugary drinks is one component. It is a major component, though, to your overall weight loss journey and your goals to losing weight. If you don't have a plan for drinking water, if you don't have a plan for eliminating sugary drinks from your diet, then it's going to be a challenge. Don't be like me, how I was, where it's like, okay, I'm only going to drink water if I go to the gym or when I go to the gym, before, during, and after. No, it has to be a on purpose thing that you do every day. So I'm going to give you a 21-day challenge. Yes, a 21-day challenge. I actually started this on TikTok a couple of months ago, and it actually was a hit. Many people joined on board and they really liked the challenge because you know what they say? Some people say whatever you do for 21 days becomes a habit. And others say, well, you don't need 21 days. You just need to do something consistently over a long period of time for it to become a habit. The point is, I wanted to give you a practical number that you can achieve that is doable. So here's some things that I want you to do over the next 21 days. And the reason why I want you to do this is because you want to take your body through a detox. Now, I'm not even dealing with the food aspects of it. That's something totally different. But I want to deal specifically on the liquids that you're putting in your body. So for the next 21 days, we are going to go on a health reset. Okay, so I want you to take this to heart and I want you to be serious about this, right? And think about it. So for the next 21 days, no sugary drinks. That means no soda, no fruit juices, no sports drinks, no energy drinks, definitely no beer or wine. Now, someone say, well, what about coffee? Coffee may be okay. I don't know the effects of caffeine and what it's maybe having on your body, but I don't want you to add the sugary creamers and the specialty coffee sugars that are added. If you're going to drink coffee, go ahead and do it. But drink it black. I know that may be kind of tough for you, but if it was up to me, I'll say, okay, don't drink the coffee for 21 days. That's going to be hard for many of you. I know, especially if you're used to drinking coffee every day. But again, no sugary drinks for the next 21 days. Now, You set what day you're going to start. I know for me, I like to start at the top of the month. Let's say if it's the first of the month, go ahead and do it. Or just start right now at the end of this podcast or the very next day. The bottom line is get yourself a calendar and mark on your calendar that for the next 21 days, you're going to avoid on purpose and with purpose and with focus, you're going to avoid sugary drinks. Again, no soda, no fruit juices. I don't care if the label says no sugar added, all of that. Remember, forget about what's on the front of the label. That's all marketing. A lot of times these companies lie or they don't tell you the entire truth. So no fruit juices. Now you may say, okay, but Oscar, what if I make a smoothie and it has fruit in it? That's something different. You can make your smoothies and you add your whole fruits in your drink, in your smoothie, add your protein, add your flax seeds and chia seeds. That's something totally different. But the bottom line is I don't want you to have any processed fruit juices. The fruit juices that are already made in the bottles that are quote unquote made out of juices. So stay away from those. Stay away from your sport drinks, those energy drinks, especially those 5-hour energy shot things. Stay away from those, please. Again, ignore the fact that it says no sugar added. Okay. Stay away from beer, stay away from wine. Again, don't fight me on this, okay? Just trust me. I had to do this and it changed my life. So you may say, man, 21 days is a long time. Well, you know what? Break up those 21 days into 3 7-day segments. So take the next 7 days and work this program. I'm telling you. Then the next 7 days. Then the next 7 days. That doesn't mean you have a cheat day in between where you go all out and drink soda and fruit juices and all this other stuff. No, I want you to do back-to-back 7 days. You can do it. Trust me, if I can do it, you certainly can. Now, in terms of water, when should you drink water and how you should drink water? Let's talk about that. So I want you to every morning, first thing in the morning, grab yourself a glass of water. Yes. Oh, but Oscar, I'm not used to it. I don't like the taste. Okay, we'll deal with the taste in a second. But we're talking about building a system and building a habit. So without clockwork, I want you to have a glass of water first thing in the morning. Now, I would say the night before, go ahead and pour you a nice glass of water and have it sitting on your nightstand. So when you wake up in the morning, it's one of the first things that you see. Before you pick up your cell phone to get on social media, before you check email, before you get out of bed, obviously sit up and drink a glass of water. Well, how many ounces? I would say start off with, 8 to 12 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Because see, the thing is, if you have to get up, then go to the kitchen to do it, you may get distracted. Your habit may be to turn on the television, and then start pouring yourself a cup of coffee. And before you know it, you forgot to drink water. So first thing in the morning, drink some water. You can determine how much water. I say do at least 8 ounces, 8 to 12 ounces. If you can do 16, go for it. Have at it. I buy these little small 8-ounce. Yes, they're in plastic because I haven't found ones that come in glass yet. But I go to either Costco or BJ's or sometimes some of these other grocery stores, but I buy these small 8-ounce bottles of water, right? They come in cases of like 80, sometimes 40 or what have you. I make it easy for myself to drink water. So I have a bunch of these little 8-ounce bottles of water that is easy for me to drink. So 8 ounces is nothing. So you get my point. I don't want to belabor that point. So first thing in the morning, drink some water. Now start drinking water with every meal. Now, again, how much water? I say 8 to 12 ounces. It's good to drink water because you know what? If you're talking about losing weight, one of the benefits of water is it also serves as an appetite suppressant. So just think about it. If you have 8 ounces of water, at least when you first wake up, and then let's say if you have another 8 ounces when you get ready to take your multivitamins and your supplements, you've already knocked out 16 ounces of water before you really got your day started. And so if you're used to having a huge breakfast, you load up on a bunch of eggs and bacon and bread, bagels, croissants, and you know what you eat in the morning. So if you consider the fact that, hey, I've already consumed 8 ounces of water, that's going to help suppress your appetite. So you can eat less in the morning. You can eat less during lunch and eat less during dinner time, all by consuming more water. Again, drink water with every meal and in between meals. So let's say here's your typical day. And hopefully you guys are still sticking with me and you can kind of flow with what I'm sharing with you. So wake up in the morning, you drink some water. Have it with your breakfast. Drink the water before you have your meal so you won't consume as much. And let's say mid-morning, by the time you get to work, let's say, or you start working and you start having that hunger cravings and you usually reach for certain snacks. Before you reach for the snacks, I want you to drink some water. So again, before every meal, drink some water. Trust me, just get in the habit. Okay, I'm going to drink something, which is water, before I eat. That's the bottom line. Drink something, which is water, before every meal. Now, let's say it's 10:30 in the morning and you have that craving for something sweet, and they usually have donuts and all kind of junk, or you may go to the vending machine and try to get some snacks out the vending machine. Okay, before you get up from your desk, have that 8 to 12 ounces of glass of water ready to go, right? Or bottle of water. Some people buy like these jugs that have the markings of in ounces of water, 8 ounce, 12 ounce, 16 ounce, a quart, half a gallon, what have you. Do what's practical for you. Again, I'm not going to carry around a gallon of water a day. It's just not practical for me. It's just not. But I can carry those, take a bunch of those small 8 ounces of water with me to work. And I set one on my desk and it's right in front of me. So I get in the habit of drinking water all the time. So again, this is all practical stuff. Okay, here's something else I want you to start doing. I want you to start drinking water before, during, and after exercising. So before you get to the gym, or once you get to the gym, take a swig of water. Do not drink a lot of water before you start working out, because then that's just a lot of water just sitting on your stomach, right? And it can slow you down a little bit. So take a sip of water before you start working out. Again, that's 8 ounces. During your exercise, you want to keep yourself hydrated, especially if you start sweating a lot. I actually add a supplement, an electrolyte supplement to my water, and I actually sip on that throughout my workouts, and it gives me enough energy. There's no sugar added to it, and it has the right amounts of electrolytes to keep me going. And of course, after exercise, I drink water. So you want to keep your body hydrated before, during, and after exercising. Now, about taste. One of the things for me why I did not drink water, a lot of water or much water back in the day, was because I had the excuse of, man, I just don't like the taste of water. That was my excuse. So one of the first things I started doing is I bought some lemon juice. They have the bottles of lemon juice. I'm not talking about like fruit juice, but it's just the tart lemon juice. And I would squeeze some of the lemon juice in my water to give it some taste and give it some flavor, I should say. So that actually helped me to start drinking more water every day. Oh, and another thing I used to do is before going to bed, I would drink some water, another 8 ounce glass of water. I would put some lemon juice in it, and that helped to curb my appetite because I used to reach for something sweet every night. Whether it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or, I don't know, a Pop-Tart or whatnot. I mean, it was crazy, folks. But in any case, I had to replace those sugary foods and snacks with water, to be honest. Here's another thing that some people may like doing, and that's spa water, where you fill up a jug of water filtered water preferably, and you add some fresh fruit in it. I mean, some people get creative, and I've seen people they chop up pineapples and blueberries and just literally let it sit in the water, and it adds flavor. And I'm not saying add fruit juices like, you get yourself some Welch's grape juice and you're adding that to your water. No, that's nasty. Stop that. I'm not talking about that. And some of these flavored waters, you want to stay away from those too, because it's really just a bunch of sugar that you're adding to your water. So stay away from that. And some people may say, well, what's the problem with just getting flavored water or adding, fruit juices to the water, because it's just going to dilute the sugar? Come on, folks. Remember, you're on this 21-day challenge, so stop playing. All right. Some people like to cut up watermelon and let the watermelon sit in the water. Some people cut up oranges. I think that's a great idea. Oranges, it depends on what you like, but cut up whole fruit. Some people like to cut up cucumbers, and they add cucumbers to the water. Some people like to do blackberries. So use whole fruit, and some vegetables like cucumbers. I don't know if I've seen anybody ever do celery, but if you like the taste of celery in your water, go for it. Try it. Sky's the limit. The bottom line is put some fresh fruit in your water to help give it some taste. And, if you have some ideas of what may work for you, go for it. Feel free to leave me a comment. Send me an email. Give me some ideas of what you like. Last thing is, some people like to drink sparkling water in place of, drinking soda like Pepsi, Coke, and Fanta and all this other stuff. So sparkling water may be an option for you. It's definitely a good alternative, or a better alternative. Now, some people may say, well, Oscar, during this 21-day challenge, how about if I just do diet sodas instead of no diet soda, nothing. Cut the soda, period. So for the next 21 days, these are the things that I want you to do. Okay. So that's it for today's episode, folks. Again, my goal is to help you to live a healthy lifestyle so you can reverse type 2 diabetes, get off medications, live a focused, fit lifestyle. And hopefully you found some value in today's episode to help jumpstart your journey towards good health and success along the way. Because folks, listen, I know that you do not like being overweight. I didn't. I know plenty of people that do not like their weight right now. They do not like the struggle that they're going through. Maybe you don't have type 2 diabetes, but you're struggling with your weight. Maybe you have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes and you have a lot of cravings that you're dealing with. I'm not saying that drinking water is that magic bullet or that magic pill or that magic solution. Eliminating sugary drinks is not magic, but these are some practical things that I recommend that you do to help turn your life around. There's so many other things, from the food that we consume to other things that we do with and to our bodies, that we have to take into account. But like I've been sharing over the last several episodes, there's some practical things that I needed to do, and that steps that I took to really turn my life around. And one of them was drinking more water and eliminating sugary drinks. I had to get serious about it. So not only did I have to change the way that I eat every day, I had to change what I put in my body in terms of drinks and liquids every day. And when I say that my body is grateful that I made that change, I can't even begin to tell you. So hopefully you were encouraged by this week's episode. As always, I want you to really focus in on and dial in on taking your health seriously. But it's going to start by you doing the practical things that is sustainable, that you can maintain over a long period of time. Because you know what? It's not enough to just meet this one weight goal and that's it. Because once you lose the 20, 30 pounds, then what? What are you going to do? You're going to go back to eating the way that you eat? Are you going to go back to consuming the stuff that you consume? Hopefully not. Hopefully this becomes a lifestyle for you. So that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to help you to develop a lasting lifestyle and to make those changes that are necessary so that you can live a healthy, focused, and fit lifestyle and feel alive every day. So stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to start dealing with exercise and how to make exercise a regular part of your daily life so that you can live a focused, fit lifestyle and feel alive every day. I've been recommending a book called The Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a great book on developing habits so that you can live a healthy lifestyle. No matter what it is, it's not just with health, but it could be with your finances. It could be in your relationships, you name it. But it's making those tiny, small adjustments so that you can live a lifestyle that you're proud of, okay? So that's Atomic Habits by James Clear. Go out and get that book. So as always, folks, stay focused, keep moving, never go back, leap forward, bounce back because you can, my friend. And above all else, trust God. You got this. I believe in you. Be sure to visit the website at www.beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com for access to free resources and other information that will help you along your journey. If you would like to submit a question or a comment about the show or to learn more about the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle, you can always email me at hello@beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with Oscar Camejo. We hope you enjoyed this episode. As a reminder, this podcast is intended for motivational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional care by a physician or other healthcare professional or qualified fitness instructor. This podcast is provided on the understanding that it does not constitute medical or professional advice or services. If you're looking for help on your journey, seek a qualified medical practitioner. It's important that you utilize someone who is a trained, licensed healthcare professional who can help you on your journey toward good health.